Hello, everybody. It is MM2K here. I'm here with our good friend Jack Deslippe of the CloudDosage family as well. We have a special guest here. We're going to get into who our special guest is and why they are here in a few moments. But first, we want to thank everybody that's joined us. Thank you. I see you in the chat, Cloud GG. Thank you, for becoming a new member. Oh, we appreciate that. We have so many people in the chat right now. We see over a dozen watching at the moment. Wow. All right, great stuff. We got Boosteroid in the chat as well. Hey, Jack, what's been going on, my good friend? It's been a long time since we've been able to do some fun stuff like this. What's been up?
Just been playing a lot of games in the cloud. It's been fun. I'm really excited to have the chance to chat on video again. We've been focusing a lot on the webpage recently, and it's exciting to get back on the channel and start building up the YouTube channel again.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys are killing it over there. All right, guys, as much as we love Jack and as much as you may love us, the CloudDosage family, we know that's not why you gathered. You gathered here because we have a special guest in the house. We have our good friend Vlad from Boosteroid, Cloud Gaming here. And Vlad, welcome to the CloudDosage family. Welcome to CloudDosage on YouTube. But before we get started with anything else and all the great stuff that you got to tell us today, can you please introduce the service, Boosteroid, what you do for the service and who you are in particular to our readers and listeners?
Sure, guys. Thank you very much for the intros, and really great to talk to all of you. And so my name is Vlad Kosmin. I'm the corporate vice president at Boosteroid. In a nutshell, basically manage and oversee legal, corporate, and business development stuff like partnerships and everything else related to BD. Then just a few words about Boosteroid. Boosteroid is a cloud gaming provider. We are currently the third largest cloud gaming company in the world after Microsoft and NVIDIA GeForce Now. And we have roughly 5.6 million customers across Europe, North and South America. We operate now already 22 data centers where we deploy the custom cloud gaming optimized hardware solutions that we design with AMD and other technology partners. That's pretty much it about us. We are here to help everyone run any game on any device and any platform, and we do it quite well. We have quite efficient hardware and software solutions behind, and I guess that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I'm going to hand it over to Jack for the next question. Thank you, Vlad.
All right.
Sure, great. Yeah, so thanks for that. So the next question we have lined up is, what sort of trends are you kind of seeing in cloud gaming? Have you seen growth in your player base? It sounds like you have, because I think that number that you just mentioned is higher than the last number I heard.
Yeah.
But and how are people kind of becoming interested in cloud gaming in the space as a whole?
Okay. Yeah. There's really a lot going on right now, and just so to say, the general trend is that gamers are transitioning to the cloud, and not only Boosteroid, but pretty much all the big players in the market. They expect at least 90% of the customers to opt for the cloud in the next 7 to 10 years, basically by early 2030s. So people are transitioning. People start playing in the cloud, and that's a very, very big shift in how the industry operates. And probably the most important development that is happening with the industry for the past decades. And there are like many different trends depending on the market, depending on the region. What I like about cloud gaming is that it makes gaming a little bit more inclusive. And what I mean is that cloud gaming really takes video games far beyond their traditional audience. Just because, it's easy, not only because it helps play high-end video games on low-end devices, but also because it's a very easy access. I mean, I'm a user myself, right? and I was not really playing before Boosteroid, and now I play quite a lot, and I like the fact that it's very easy. You know, I play in the browser, just a few mouse clicks, and I'm in the game. I don't need to download anything, store it locally, and so on. So this is what's happening with cloud gaming right now. And it's very significant for its future. That it's not only for sophisticated gamers, and it's more for casual gamers and even people who are non-gamers, and they are converted into gamers with cloud gaming. Of course, the trend is that cloud gaming gets more high-end, and you'd probably say that casual gamers or non-gamers, they don't really need the high quality. That's to a certain extent true. When I speak with my tech team, and I say like, well, my latency was 15 millisecond, I could not notice it. You know, the tech team guys who are really pro gamers, they say that was terrible. 15 millisecond, I can't play like that. So, you know, casual users are less demanding. But even though cloud gaming really targets everybody, it gets more high end, and you can see GeForce now launching Ultimate tier. You can see Boosteroid launching Ultra tier. We are all targeting 4K gaming, 120 FPS and more. So that's a good trend. Cloud gaming becomes more sophisticated in terms of the quality, and now it has something to offer to pro gamers, to people who really know things when it comes to gaming. And nobody really say right now that cloud gaming, we'll see in the next few years how the technology develops. That was something like from 5 years ago, right? Now things change, and cloud gaming becomes mature, sophisticated, and ready to accept billions of customers.
So that sounds great. One follow up, if I can ask, is you mentioned the number 5.6 million users. Are those sort of active users, or like monthly active users, or are those people with accounts? How do you count that number?
You know, that's totally classified.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I can tell that 5.6 million, these are registered users with active accounts. And when it comes to monthly active users, that's top secret. Nobody really reveals that. What I can say is that, of course, we don't have as many monthly active users as we have registered users with active accounts, but we're somewhere in between 600,000 and 1.2 million, so to say, in that range. That's
okay.
All.
Well, that's an impressive number.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had really huge organic growth since the launch in 2019. So we're not really doing any marketing and advertising. Moreover, we are afraid of marketing because when we try, just because, normal companies, they do marketing. So we try to do that, and we have a really huge influx of customers. So for us, it's always a race to be able to offer enough infrastructure, enough servers to host everybody who wants to use our service. So all these numbers are the result of the organic growth, and also the result of us limiting this organic growth to a certain extent, not to be running out of capacity. And that, unfortunately, that still happens from time to time in peak hours, especially in winter. We are sometimes running out of capacity. That's why we're now, probably we'll talk about that a bit later, that's why we're now deploying many thousands of new servers. And we hope, at least by the end of the year, not to be running out of capacity, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, that's a good thing. I reckon it's better to be, you'd rather not have to deal with those complexities, if you had the choice, but I bet it's better to be running out of capacity to just have stuff just sitting collecting dust, right?
So, sure. Yeah, it's a problem, but it's probably a good problem to have. And
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Those are impressive numbers. I'm sorry, Jack, did you have another follow-up?
No, why don't we? I think we've got some more questions lined up here, so you can take the next one.
Cool. All right. So in regards to that and running out of capacity and the whole server setup together, the cost of hosting cloud services is not free, right? So to help people understand that whole dynamic, can you comment on the challenges and opportunities in running a cloud gaming service and how you do so sustainably?
Yeah, of course, like you need really a lot of money to do that on a global scale. And that's why there are not so many, small startups and small companies running cloud gaming business, just because if you want to do it on a global level, or at least, in Europe and North America, you really need to have very, very strong CapEx and kind of all the costs related to the acquisition of the infrastructure and its management and operation. And there are two ways to do that. You can opt for public or like private cloud solutions, and you can build your own infrastructure. And pretty much all big companies like Boosteroid, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, late Google Stadia, what we're doing is building our own hardware, just because it makes the economics behind the cloud gaming business work. Public cloud is not really efficient enough especially now when you target 4K, when you target 120 FPS and more. Public cloud doesn't really offer anything that can support that type of quality, and cost is another very important point. So kind of from the very beginning, back in 2018, when we launched the first beta, we were focused on building our own hardware solutions with Asus, back then with Intel, now with AMD. And that's kind of what we do. We deploy our own servers across the data centers, and then comes data center hosting and electricity, internet, and all the related costs. So of course, the business is quite complex, and it's funny though that we're more sometimes, when I think about Boosteroid, I feel like we're more a hardware company than a gaming company. And being a very good hardware company is what allows us to be a successful gaming company, because we really figured it out in terms of performance and cost and kind of the whole model, how we operate with the servers. And this helps us being a successful and profitable business, because of course it's not easy. So yeah, the main costs come from the fact that you need to bring thousands of servers to the data centers somewhere in this world, and you need to host these servers there, pay for space, power, connectivity, and stuff like that. And that's a very big monthly cost. And frankly speaking, it's very challenging to keep the subscription price as low as it is right now. And still, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We have no plans to increase the subscription price, but just saying that you should be really smart to figure it out, how to maintain, how to be a little bit below the market price in terms of the subscription cost, and how to operate the cloud gaming service on a global scale.
Awesome. Great answers. I have another follow-up, and feel free to say that this is classified or you can't answer again. But we kind of know that gaming times are a bit diurnal, meaning they kind of peak at the maybe evenings and then drop in the early morning, middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it's very bursty, I think, as you said, as like a game gets released and that sort of thing.
Correct.
Is there a way that you amortize the downtimes, that you like use the GPUs for anything other than gaming during the downtimes, or how do you kind of handle that challenge?
Yeah, We don't really we have downtimes, but these are not really significant downtimes, and we are, since we have loads of infrastructure both in Europe and North America, and we serve customers in South America, North America, and Europe. So we kind of, when European gamers go to bed, then the US gamers come in, and we don't really have downtimes that we need to mitigate. For us, the uptime, so to say, and the capacity utilization is something that we should mitigate, not the downtimes. But just because you asked that, I can tell something. We, in fact, of course, the vision of the company goes far beyond gaming, though we started with gaming, but I don't know, maybe there are some people here who remember how Boosteroid looked like in 2019. I'm not sure if those people still exist, but anyway, we used to have, for some very short period of time, we used to have software apps together with games. Then we quickly figured out that we really need totally different architecture for software apps like Adobe, Autodesk, and stuff like that. So we need the whole different architecture to support that, and gaming. So we focused on gaming, which was kind of more clear. And we have, some sort of R&D for cloud-based access to software apps. And on top of that, we're talking about interactive video, the movies rendered on gaming engines, and in part or in full, totally interactive. Like you can select a character, you can go rob a bank, or the movie can start as a romantic comedy, but then you do something else, the genre changes. So that's how big streaming companies, and we're in contact with many of them, that's how they want to revolutionize the VOD content industry. And what they need and what they lack is the infrastructure based on the GPU servers and ready to handle interactive video streaming. That's what we do on a daily basis. So we have solutions for that. So of course, now we're a little bit overwhelmed with games, really, because the market is very big and the competitors are, NVIDIA, Microsoft, very huge companies. So we have a lot of work, a lot to do. But as we maybe in the future, as we have some more free time, we'll definitely look at all those other things beyond gaming where we can apply our software and our hardware solutions.
Okay, that sounds very, very cool. Interesting use of the technology. Okay, so I think I have the next question, and this is a little bit of a compound question. But can you describe, basically, again, in as much detail as you're allowed to kind of provide publicly, your cloud gaming architecture and things that like our listeners and readers tend to care about are things like the number and locations of your data center, the node level hardware, like the CPU, GPU specifications, memory, and how you do storage, like the codecs, end user devices.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what is really important for many customers. So I'm happy to tell a bit more about that. So we are now, we use many different configurations of servers, but we're now transitioning to the fully AMD based architecture. And what we're talking about now is the EPYC 4th gen CPU from AMD and RX 7900 XT, the AMD GPU. But it's not a standard GPU because it's a consumer GPU. And we got together with AMD and spent some time on, figuring out how do we optimize it so that it runs in the server and so that it has some cool features customized for Boosteroid, not available on the standard GPU. So I can tell you we have RX 7900 XT, but it's good to know that it's not just the regular card. it's optimized and the performance is enhanced. And there are certain software tools that you can use depending on the game that make the performance even better. And this is, the new industry standard. These VMs, they can handle the stream of up to 4K. In terms of FPS, we can go with some games far beyond 120. So it's really, really a great change if you compare it to what we had before and what the market had before. So now we are, in terms of our VMs, we're much more high-end than our friends from Microsoft Xbox. We are basically much more high-end than everybody else in the market except for GeForce Now. With GeForce Now, we're pretty much equal. It depends on the game. Sometimes NVIDIA does a little bit better. Sometimes we do equally. Sometimes we do a little bit better. So to say, that's the new industry standard. And what we'll have very soon, and probably the first time we talk about that publicly, we are testing the new AMD components that will be released later. And we're going to, in 2025, we're going to switch the infrastructure to these new components. So what we will see is the increase in the performance of approximately 25% from what we have today with the newly launched Ultra tier. So it's going to be, really, really great. And that's how we plan to gradually become the second biggest cloud gaming company and then the first biggest. And because the performance will be, unmatched. And we're looking forward to deploying first servers, but that's still the goal for 2025. Now we are rolling out this new AMD-based servers that power our new Ultra tier. And in terms of locations, we just opened up a few new data centers equipped only with these Ultra servers. And we have our first ever data center in Germany. We have our second data center in Paris. That's in Europe, on top of all other DCs that we already have there. And in the US, we're opening the second data center in Pennsylvania, and we are opening one in Omaha. Right now, as we started to discuss this, I can tell you that the US launch of the 4K Ultra tier will happen most probably in a few weeks. So we're now, rolling this out, configuring and stuff like that. So overall, we have 22 data centers now, and we'll have at least 10 more by early 2025, and all equipped with this Ultra tier.
That's great. So this is breaking news, I think. Some new data centers.
Yeah, and for us, it's very important to be close to the customer. So we know all the blind spots that we have right now. Hi, California. We'll fix this and we'll figure this out very shortly, because now we are really rolling out more hardware than we deployed since 2019, since the commercial launch, up until 2022. So now this is the most massive deployment of Boosteroid servers. It will be happening for at least up until early 2025, when we will get the new infrastructure based on the new AMD products, not yet released, and that's when we will scale further with this new hardware. So it's all about growth and expansion.
So when you a follow-up question, when you roll out new hardware in a data center, do you retire the older hardware, or does it go into a lower tier of the service? How does that work?
Yeah, we keep it, of course, and it still performs quite good. Even those servers that we deployed back in 2019, there are still in operation, many of them. And the good thing behind cloud gaming infrastructure is it lasts, and we don't need to replace everything every 3 years. So what we do basically, we use it for lower tier, we use it for lower resolution, lower frame rate, and that's how we can use servers for a very, very long time, and yeah, so pretty much like 100% of our infrastructure is still not in operation, and it's just that we increase the share of the really high-end servers.
Okay, so you maybe one more follow-up. You talked a bit about like the CPU GPU part of the hardware, and feel free to say that you can't answer the question again, but can you talk a little bit about how you do storage? Do you have storage on each like node or each blade, or do you have centralized storage? And how do you avoid having to duplicate data as much as necessary?
Yeah, so we have storage. We have separate servers for storage. We deploy them together with the racks with GPU servers, and like in a very nutshell, So we have certain storage deployed within every data center that we have, and it operates within the VMs that are hosted on the GPU servers running in this data center. And yeah, so we're saving game files, we're saving saves there, and then when the customers launch the VMs, we mount all this stuff to the VM, so that customers can get access to both game files, game saves, and everything else what is there to be stored.
Okay. Sounds good. So it sounds like it's like a networked file system that gets.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as one last sort of follow up here is, are there any novel aspects of your architecture that you'd like to highlight? I think you've talked about kind of some things already, but anything else that we missed?
Yeah, we're just really super excited with this new hardware, and we want all our customers to try it as quickly as possible, because it's really awesome. It's stunning, and so the main thing is just that it gets so much more high end than it used to be, and you can also enjoy some technologies in various games supported by the AMD GPU. The CPU is great. I'm sure our customers, especially those playing Fortnite, they used to notice some stuff, like when the open world is being initialized, and when the game starts, there were some like freezes before and things like that. That was because the load on the CPU, and we use Intel's pretty old Intels before. The load on the CPU was too much, and now it's all fixed, and so all those tiny problems that we used to have, they're no longer there. And yeah, I mean, overall, this is something we worked on for almost 1 year in 2023, and we are really excited to bring it to the public, and that's why basically I wanted to say that in the beginning of the talk. We're so excited that we are basically happy to, and I'm happy to bring some gifts. I was not able to come without a gift, so I will reveal it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I will reveal it at the end of the interview.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a good gift.
Okay, well, stay tuned for that, everybody.
Don't go anywhere, folks. Yeah.
One last question here. So one of the things that we think is pretty novel about Boosteroid is the ability to not only play but then stream directly from your servers to YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's something that we loved about Stadia. May it rest in peace. And I think it's awesome that Boosteroid is offering that. Can you kind of talk about how you're doing that, or any of the challenges associated with that? Is it something?
Yeah, it's something that we were working on for quite a while, and we're happy that it's live for some time already. So what we do, we basically enable people to stream their gaming session directly to YouTube, and the streaming, is captured. The gameplay is captured on the server, so you don't need to worry if your device is capable of running a high-end game and streaming it at the same time. So it is really a great tool for everybody out there to start streaming their games and to show to the world how they play and what they play and so on. So it's very easy. You need to sync your YouTube account with your Boosteroid account, and then when you play, you click one button and the gameplay is shared to your YouTube and captured directly on the server. So if you have any last mile issues and freezes or jitter or something like that on your device, this won't be visible in the stream because it's captured on the server and your device is not involved. That's a pretty good tool, and we have a strategy to make it even better and to cover more use cases, and to make it like a comprehensive streaming tool for people who stream not only for fun but also like professionally. So we're still working on it.
Very cool. Okay, so we'd probably better move on. We could probably have a million.
We can stay on this topic okay. So, not to belabor this point right here, but it's so interesting. I mean, we got a lot of techie people in here. Shout out to Project Storm and Geek and Vat and Sean. I see you guys coming in here, and they're big cloud gaming enthusiasts and they're fans of the service. Like we said,
That's great.
Geek says here that he hasn't used it in a while, but it's good to hear that upgrades are happening. So he's looking forward to jump back on this one. Now, one of the things that you said earlier, Vlad, one of the many things that you said, because just looking at the chat, they're just as excited as I am. But the new server location in Pennsylvania, so that's great because I'm right in Pennsylvania, so that's awesome. But one of the things that we, as a lot of us as cloud gamers, are inquisitive of is like the codecs. And I know this is a thing that, shout out to Project Storm, something that he's focused on for a while. What are you guys? What are your plans with AV1? I know it's still in development. I know it hasn't officially been deployed yet. But if you're allowed, I'll use a disclaimer. If you're allowed, what are you guys' plans to roll out and utilize the AV1 codec?
So basically, at least what I know about that, is that the guys are, of course, the tech team, they are, of course, working on, it's part of the R&D, so to say.
Okay.
So we have many solutions that we either developed before or are developing right now that are alternative to what we use. Okay. And we are, interested in experimenting. And for us, some of our tech guys, they're still, they are still in 2016, 2017 in terms of being eager to develop, to explore, and that's really great because we have the service, we have the technology, and everything is fine. We don't really need to constantly be looking for something new, but we do. And of course, that's the part of the R&D. And I feel like it may make sense to set up the session dedicated to tech things only, and I'm happy to do that in when the time comes, and we can bring some tech guys that can comment on some aspects of how these things are being developed, what solutions are tested, what are the results, and so on. Just to cover more, in-depth tech stuff behind Boosteroid.
Awesome,
okay.
Awesome. Thanks for that. All right, we can move on now. Oh yeah, and I guess the next question is for me. So moving on, do you guys have any plans to further reach of your service to more territories, for example, Latin America, and to place more server locations globally? I know you touched a little bit about what your current plans are. Things are coming to Pennsylvania. Woo-hoo, once again. But any other things you could tell us about global plans as far as expanding?
Yeah, we've got some people in the chat specifically want to know about Latin America.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
We let me tell you one thing about our customers in Latin America. We love them so much. They are really, really great. Not just not just because we like them, but because we have a lot of customers from Latin America, and these markets are growing. Unfortunately, the people experience some latency that is higher than what the average user in North America or Europe has, and that's very painful for us, because we know that Latin America really needs this solution. People are there; they're waiting for it. They at least, like, from what I've seen online, they post many good things about Boosteroid, and we're grateful for all the support coming from Latin America. And that's again probably something that we will reveal for the first time publicly. But we do have a very, very solid process right now that will result in the deployment in Brazil. So we are, of course, we constantly think about Latin America, not only Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Argentina. Those are all very good markets and very good countries where cloud gaming will change a lot for the customers. But let's say the most tangible plans we have right now are related to Brazil. And I can't tell you exact dates. Maybe I will be able to do so in the near future. But it's just that we're really close to that right now. And by being close, I mean, we have a data center. We have pretty much everything in terms of, importing text and stuff like that figured out. So, it is a process. It takes some time, and it's not really, I can't tell you the release date because it may change, but this is happening right now. And this is another thing that we're very excited about internally. For a few years now, everybody's like, oh, what we need every day, everybody, we need to do something with Latin America. We need to deploy there. So we're now very close to that. And this will be the next big geographical expansion. On top of that, we will, of course, expand further in the existing markets because the demand is crazy. And we need to expand more in Europe.
That's my kiddo.
Yeah.
Talking for a second.
Yeah, we need to expand more in Europe, in North America. And we're not talking yet about Asia Pacific, but maybe later this year there will be some news also about that. But now let's focus on Latin America and on further scaling and expansion in the existing markets.
Well, that was some great, exciting breaking news, especially to folks in Brazil.
Absolutely.
In Latin America. Very, very exciting. Okay, so then in terms of rollouts, you also just, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but you just finished kind of the 4K rollout, or at least you have some a couple server locations with the 4K Ultra tier available. Are you happy with the results technically, and how has the community response been?
Yeah, we are very happy, and finally we did it. It's now only available in Europe, but the US is coming, like, hopefully in weeks, not months. And so we were able to collect some initial, both technical, commercial, and kind of community response data in Europe, and it's been great. We really love the fact that not only new customers are opting for the Ultra tier, but also there are really, really massive numbers of existing customers, standard customers, upgrading to Ultra. So yeah, but it's something that we expected, because we know that people have been waiting a lot for the hardware upgrades for the new tier to be launched. And since, we wish we could have done it earlier, but there are some things that we encountered, both related to the war in Ukraine, where the team is based, and related to some R&D that we had with AMD and with the tech partners. So it took us a little bit more time than we initially expected. And for us, it's a very big milestone, to launch it. And we're really happy that the customers are as happy as we are and as excited as we are. And probably in the coming month, we will see more, both technical and commercial data on that launch. But what we can see right now is that it's really, really great. People are upgrading to Ultra. People are subscribing. New customers are subscribing. And I really hope that people enjoy it, because it's really, a new industry standard. And subscribe to Ultra.
Awesome. You heard, subscribe to Ultra. Okay.
I'm sorry. Did you have any follow-up questions?
No, I was just going to say, you want to grab the next question, MMTJ?
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yep. So, Vlad, can you tell us more about the 4K server rollout in North America?
So we are a few weeks. We need a few weeks more to set everything up. And the deployment is pretty big. So we don't want to launch in one state and do not launch everywhere across the US. So we need to wait until all the data centers are equipped with new servers, and it takes some time. So we're hoping to launch in the coming weeks, and in addition to 6 data centers that we had in the US already, which is I'm not sure I will remember all 6 locations. But so it's Washington State, it's Pennsylvania, it's North Carolina, it's Texas.
Right.
What else? It's Illinois, and it's Florida. On top of that, we'll have Omaha and another data center in Pennsylvania in a few weeks when we launch the 4K hardware in the US. And we will have more data centers by the end of the year. We will come to California, and now, according to the strategy, we will deploy both in California and in Arizona, in Phoenix, to enhance the coverage of this region. It's pretty okay right now. I hope the customers will not be offended when I say that it's pretty good now when you are connected to Seattle. But I've tried it myself in California. Playing on Seattle servers, and it's more or less okay. But we will have presence there very soon.
I'm in the Bay Area in California, and I know that when I tested, I was in connecting to the Seattle, and it was still pretty good. I think the round trip latency was still like between 10 and 20.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Okay, so that's really exciting.
That is. Oh, Pennsylvania keeps winning. Yes. Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Pennsylvania is the first. We have a data center in another location in Pennsylvania, so it's not the same location that we have right now, and it's just because the region is very big, and in terms of the expansion now, for us the priority is Texas and Florida, also because the guys from Latin America are connected mainly to these data centers, and yeah, Pennsylvania, and of course further expansion in terms of new states. That's why California very soon. That's why Omaha now, and yeah, we'll keep growing in the States. What we have today, 22 data centers in Europe and North America, is basically one of the largest GPU-based infrastructure networks in the world in terms of points of presence. And I don't think there are lots of cloud companies outside of gaming, I mean, just cloud companies that support that much GPU-based hardware across that many points of presence. So we've managed to build a really wide and big network.
Right. Yeah, it's very, very impressive. So we've talked now a little bit about your expansions in terms of territories. How about your plans in terms of expanding in terms of devices, in particular, like the end user devices? Do you have anything you can share about smart TV OSs, new like the possibility of going to iOS, as somebody in the chat was asking, or even other places? Your smart fridge, for example.
Right. There is one company that in particular manufactures smart fridges, in addition to other types of furniture. And we were discussing some kind of showcase, on so it's not far from the reality,
Right.
Right. Yeah, so for us, it's important to be on as many platforms as possible, both physically platforms and operating systems. So even though not really big part of the customer base is coming from Linux devices, for example, we still have separate apps for different versions like Mint, Debian, Ubuntu, and so on. So we try to be as close to the customer as possible. Of course, we have like the Windows client, Mac OS client, Android client, Android TV client. But that's this will never be over, and we work with multiple partners. We are the partner of Google for gaming on Chrome OS, and we work very closely with Google Chromebooks team to kind of optimize cloud gaming on Boosteroid on Chromebooks. And in 2023, we partnered with LG and with Samsung. So we joined Samsung Gaming Hub, and LG Gaming UI. Before that, we had Philips, Sharp, and a few other TV partners. So the TV front is very important for us. We are very close to having 20% of our customer base running games on the TV, which was something we never expected like 3 years ago. Let's say 4 years, I think. 2020, when we launched Android TV app, we didn't really expect the market on TV to grow so fast, but now we see that people are giving up on consoles. And if you look at Microsoft, they are really investing in cloud gaming on the TV, which is a console killer, but they still do it, being one of the biggest console gaming players. So that's the future. And this future is inevitable. It will come. Cloud gaming will substitute consoles, and the growth that we see right now with our partners like Samsung is really great. And you don't need a console. You have a TV already, so you can play. Just grab a gamepad and you can play. That's awesome. You don't need to buy consoles. You don't need to upgrade them, and the quality is good. And in terms of new partnerships and new platforms, we've just kicked off with Hisense, which is one of the very, very top TV market players, and having tens of millions of TVs, and really, really big company. So we are now rolling out on different models of Hisense TVs. And we have many things in progress. For example, Philips is launching Titan OS, so we'll be there. We're now working with these guys to optimize the Android client to be running on this OS on the TVs to be able to reach more Philips devices. So it's constantly in progress, and there is a lot of boring internal stuff I can tell you, but I'll probably focus on something that is really exciting. And during Gamescom, there will be some announcement with Boosteroid coming to a very unconventional platform, which is the automotive platform. So we'll support AAA gaming inside the car, and that's all I can tell for now. But yeah, just guys, just keep in touch and wait until Gamescom and everything will be revealed. And it's just the beginning of the in-car gaming story for us. This Gamescom announcement upcoming, and we'll have much more in terms of in-car gaming and in terms of expansion to all other platforms. iOS, right, as you've said, right now we are available there in the browser, but yeah, there is a lot going on with iOS, and we're constantly optimizing our existing clients, especially for platforms like tablets and stuff, adding, just maybe as an example, adding screen resolutions so that we cover as many devices as possible, and the app can recognize the screen resolution of the device and display itself accordingly. So yeah, the more platforms, the better. And this is kind of the top priority expansion in terms of platforms and operating systems.
Very cool, very cool. Yes, pretty soon there's going to have to be a warning: don't play and drive at the same time. People do spend a lot of time in their cars, parked and waiting, and then as cars become autonomous, it starts making a lot of sense.
Yeah, and the main use cases are while charging and while waiting for the pickup. But autonomous driving is here. We may like it or not, but this will be happening with the automotive industry in the coming years, and it will get much better than it is today, and it will get much more mainstream than it is today. And people will literally be driving and playing games, and this is more like an exciting thing right now. I can't say that there is a big market behind this today, but together with the world's biggest automotive companies right now, Boosteroid is creating this market. And if you, I don't know, just imagine these are 1930s or 40s right now, and if you don't do some calculations, you will not be able to fly to the moon in 1960s. So we are doing what it takes right now to be able to create this market and to be the top player on this market when the time comes, when autonomous driving is there, and when people literally can, regardless of whether they are charging, waiting, or driving, they can spend some time with their favorite title.
Yeah. Here in San Francisco, we have Waymo that you can already get into, and it's a pretty impressive technology. It's not too far away.
Yeah, true.
Okay, and then I'll just maybe read from the chat. There's a question about 4K coming to Android TV, and your colleague in chat, I think, has said that it's on the way. So another exciting.
Right.
Okay, so how about we go on to the next question? I think that's you, MM2K.
All right. So Vlad, how do you curate and control the games that you release onto the service? Like, do you have the support of the publishers for each game release? Can you explain the difference in publisher relationships between games in the Boosteroid library and then games that are being added via the install method?
All right. Yeah. So first of all, we are here to have as many titles as possible. And right now we're close to 1,000 titles. and we add more and more games all the time. And of course, not all of them are super popular AAA titles. We try to satisfy all the customers, and regardless of what their tastes are. And it's important for us that people discover some games on Boosteroid. So they are playing one title, but they discover something else, and they get some new experience from that. And that's what video games are about. And so we are expanding the catalog, and we'll be doing so now as we have pretty much the best library out of all other cloud gaming companies. We're focused more on some specific areas. I don't know, indie titles, kids-friendly titles, stuff like that, where we feel like we need to expand the offering. And in terms of the publishers' relations, that's a very big part of what we do in terms of the catalog curation and so on. We work with really hundreds of publishers, and what we do, like, we don't bother them with something like, we don't come and say, you need to port your title, you need to do that and that. So we do pretty much all things in-house on our end. And the publisher is just sitting there and enjoying new customers coming, new platforms, without with zero effort, zero time spent, and zero cost. When we talk about library and the install section, the difference in a very nutshell is that in the library, the games are there for you. We've pre-installed them. You're welcome. In the install section, that's your job to pre-install the game. Mm-hmm. It's from the UI perspective as optimized as possible. So it's literally one extra button that you need to click, and that's it. But on the backbone, it's you who is it's you who are uploading the title on the dedicated VM that you have on Boosteroid. Overall, we think of Boosteroid as a cloud computer, as a gaming PC based in the cloud, just like your local PC, whatever it is, Asus, Lenovo, I don't know, HP. We are the same, but in the cloud. So that's why it's important for us to allow customers to play as many games as possible, even if we are not able to pre-install them, use use them in the catalog and advertise them, and so on. And now, in terms of the publishers' relations in the install section, we may have no relations with the publishers, no arrangements, or we may have a respective arrangement to keep the game in the install section to collect data. That's the very common thing. And unfortunately, the publishers, they are all, sometimes I feel like they're not really gamers, because they're very serious and strict and tough and so on. Everything is strictly under NDA, so that not much I can tell you about the names of the companies. But it's a very common case when the publisher is like, well, we understand that this is the future, and our customers, after some time, will be accessing our games only through the cloud. But we're not sure how we address it. What do we do now, and so on. And so what publishers are doing, they are having their titles in the install section, and we are sharing the data. And they can see, both technically how the game is played on the TV, or on a mobile device, or on Mac OS, and commercial, like how many customers are coming, how does this impact the in-game purchases and stuff like that. And it's been many times when the publishers then transition from the install to the library when they're very happy with the result. And what happens next? In the library, we can advertise the title, like we can ask for the permission from the publisher to use it in the marketing. And just one recent use case when the title transitioned from the install to the library, the number of gaming sessions with this title on Boosteroid increased 30 times. So it's visibility, it's exposure to the millions of customers, and this is the main, so to say, value that we bring to the market and to the game publishers. And yeah, so that's it. We work with a lot of them. We try to, with those publishers where we have that level of the relationship, we try to optimize the performance. We can do pretty much everything on our end to optimize the cloud-based environment, but it's still important to get together with the publisher to see what else we can do. And if you're following our partnership with Microsoft, it's a great example of what two good companies can do when they get together. And we have just recently released the functionality that allows you to sync your Xbox account and Boosteroid account. And there is a lot more going on right now behind the scenes with Microsoft for even further integration between Xbox gaming ecosystem and Boosteroid. So just, yeah, we will be releasing updates very soon about that. Okay. And it's going to be great for gamers.
So I'll just highlight that in the chat, Project Storm says Elden Ring on Boosteroid is definitely huge. So the ability to have those games in one way or another, I think, is a big win for the service. And thanks for all that insight on how that different, what the two different kind of catalogs means and how that works with the publishers. That was really interesting. So then we have so MM2K, why don't you ask our follow-up question?
I had my mic muted, didn't even realize it. So I personally had a follow-up question. Do we have but before we get to mine, was there one in the chat you were talking about?
I just meant like the next question on the list is kind of a
okay. Yeah. Well, let me throw this out here too. So, because, and again, you may not be able to answer anything on this, Vlad, but one of the, trying to figure out a way that I can say this to where I might be able to squeeze an answer out of you. Warner Brothers, we have some, scratch that I said Warner Brothers. We have some publishers that seem apprehensive about cloud engagement, right? What has been your experience? You kind of touched on it, but what has been your experience on some of these games that don't show up anywhere else, but you guys have available on your install method? Have you guys been seeing a lot of pushback, we need you to remove that from install? Or do you feel like that even some of these more reluctant publishers are okay with you guys putting it in the install method?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, install is literally a cloud desktop. Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't want to sell people cloud-based desktops. That's why it looks different. But the way it operates and the way it is on the backbone is exactly the cloud, based desktop. So we are, it's pretty much okay to rent a VM on Azure or anywhere else, right? And to install your Warner Brothers or any other game there and to play it. The same thing is happening on Boosteroid. So if you are against this, you are against just the cloud technology, because cloud technology is about remote access to something, right? You don't access it on your computer. You have it somewhere on the server. So it's the basics, and it has very broad application. And what we've done is that we've just replicated this, but in a very user-friendly way. So you're still installing the titles, but it's not like what you will do on your Google Cloud or Azure or AWS virtual machine.
Gotcha.
So this is, I mean, just the remote desktop that you use to play a certain game. And of course, we do not as you've seen in the install section, we don't use the logos and game screenshots and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't have respective permissions.
Yeah.
But people are able to use their dedicated remote cloud-based desktops to play games or to run like any software. And basically the idea behind the install, I don't know if you guys know that, but the idea is actually to make the library on Boosteroid unlimited. And right now, when you go to the install section, you see the catalog, you see the list of games, which is, in fact, the list of games that are tested by our developers and that are compatible with Boosteroid cloud environment. But the idea behind the install section that will be implemented soon, I mean, not in 2 months or 6 months, but sometime from now, the idea is that you will see just a bar where you can type a game that you want, and then you will proceed to the uploading to the steps that you need to take to upload the game on the VM. So the list will disappear one day, because the idea is to have the unlimited library by allowing the customer to upload anything they want. We don't do this now just because we don't want the negative experience. We know that many games, even low-end games, when you try to play them on the cloud, there may be certain issues with anti-cheat system, with UI, with performance, with everything, you know. So we can't just say, hey gamers, you can upload anything you want and play it, because we know up to 30% of sessions will be bad because of, you know, because there is no compatibility between our cloud-based environment and this game, and we don't want that experience. So now the library, sorry, the install is in fact the catalog of the titles that we have tested, and we know they are running well. And we say, customer, you're safe. You can play these games. You can upload them on the VM and play them. But soon, I can't tell you why I can tell you. I can't tell you when, but there will be no list, and people will be able to upload pretty much anything they want as we test more and more games.
That's very, very cool. So
Cool. Yeah.
the way to think about it is that the install section basically gives you your own private PC in the cloud, but your interface.
Right. But that's right. That's what it is. But we just we don't want it to look that way, you know, because we are about Netflix or Spotify for video games. Gotcha. We're about Android. We're not MS-DOS, you know. We need it to be simple. We need it to look simple. And because we know many customers, many people who use Boosteroid, and they are not, Gen Z, or they are like in their 30s and sometimes 40s. And this is the only way they know how to play. They don't know, how to download the Steam client and then download the game client on their device and then play it locally. They might have been playing before as they were younger, but then they were not playing for a very long time. And then thanks to cloud gaming, they came back. And this is the only way they know it works, you know. The old ways are not for them anymore. And these are the types of customers that we have more and more on Boosteroid. People that are not really familiar with how the games are played other than through the cloud. And it's important to keep things simple. And we're not as simple as we want to be. So we try to be simpler in terms of the interface, experience, and so on. Of course, we're working on that.
Awesome. Awesome. Jack, I'm going to go on to our official follow up, but I do want to just and thank you guys in the chat. Keep hitting that like button. That helps gets this spread out, because there's a lot of misinformation going out about cloud gaming and these different services, and that's what CloudDosage is about. We're trying to nullify that. So when you guys hit that like button, when we have great guests on here like Vlad, that helps disseminate and cascade that information, so people will be like, you know what, this cloud gaming thing ain't so bad. So make sure you hit that like button and share this out. I also want to follow up and just take a short moment to say thank you guys for all the kind words that you're giving to Vlad, that you're giving to Jack and myself. But for this last session, which was very important, the install method, I can't take any credit. We got to give flowers to Vlad for the transparency. Thank you again, my good friend. And we also got to give credit to Jack, because I've had online, offline conversations with Jack and him and the team directly at CloudDosage. They've been big proponents on the transparency around this too, because again, we want the dissemination of facts and how you should engage with these different options that we have. And we're very thankful that Boosteroid has this option, but as Vlad broke it down and explained to you, there's a certain way to look at it. All right. And ultimately the biggest thing I think we're all in agreement with is if everybody understands the scope and the possibilities and the greatness behind cloud gaming long term, so we don't have any of these complications and everything is just available to everybody all the time. Right. So but I want to take that time. Thank you, everybody, for those kind words, but definitely give you a round of applause to Vlad, to Jack, particularly for the entire interview and for that last section. Some great transparency that I know you guys have been looking for. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Just before we wrap up, here's the gift. So we have the discount coupon that is called CloudDosage 75.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For a reason. For a reason, you know, we will have a 75% off the ultra tier for the first month.
Wow.
And, yeah. So just if you have any troubles with redeeming it, feel free to reach out to the support on Boosteroid. They will help you. But here's the coupon, CloudDosage 75, and here's the 75% off the ultra tier.
Wow.
Yeah. And as I've said, we're very excited about the ultra tier, and we hope and we want as many people as possible to try it out. And that's you know.
So that's no spaces in the code. Can I take
No, it's just it's CloudDosage 75, no spaces.
Awesome.
Just like that.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, thank you guys for that, because now I don't have to go into my wife's person. Take a credit card.
So if you have a few more minutes, though, we do have a couple more questions.
Yeah. How much more time you got, Vlad? You got a couple more minutes?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that the code is valid for like 1 day, so make sure you redeem it.
Okay, just for 1 day. So this is really for people who are like on the ball and in this this chat here. Don't
miss out. All right. So to our official follow-up, Vlad, to this section, are you in talks with other developers or publishers to secure their games for your service?
Yeah. I mean, we have probably 2 very big ongoing conversations with 2 very big publishers. That's unfortunately all I can say. But if you look at the catalog, and there are certain titles you may see are missing, and certain launchers and platforms that you may see are missing. So we're working on that. And I hope maybe around Gamescom, we will have a few announcements about that already. We have, it's an ongoing process. I think every week we have some updates. We've just released, or maybe will be releasing. Yeah, it's not yet released. We will release soon some titles from Milestone, the publisher that we have signed an agreement just a few days ago. So that's going to be the next release. I think 6 or 7 games. But it's happening all the time. We have the schedule of Xbox games being released regularly, as we will eventually have the whole Xbox library available on Boosteroid. But it takes time to test all the titles and release them. So that's also a regular process happening pretty much every month. And in terms of the very big announcements, we'll probably need to wait for, let's say, post Gamescom time. And hopefully then you will be very excited. But for now, yeah, that's all I can tell. So we work. That's the daily routine. We work with many publishers every day.
Okay, great. So then any other technical partnerships in flight that you can talk about? Maybe this, you kind of mentioned that just now, but anything else you want to say there?
I guess, the most important thing right now is our partnership with AMD and the servers that we are developing right now. Before that, we had good infrastructure, but now we have stunning infrastructure, and we're really grateful for all the support from AMD in terms of, designing these solutions with us. And this is really a unique product on the server side of the cloud gaming market, and we're really happy to use this infrastructure that nobody else is using in this world. No other company. It's just for us. And
very cool that you have such a deep partnership with AMD.
Yeah, and we know pretty much all these companies, and we have very good relationship. Also, Intel. Most of our current infrastructure is based on Intel, but as you know, for the cloud gaming use case, AMD is now doing much better. So we use AMD for CPUs, and we use AMD for GPUs. But we still have the relationship with Intel, with pretty much all other tech companies and vendors out there, and what is also important in terms of the tech partnerships are like platforms. This is Samsung, this is LG, this is Chromebooks, and Google as the whole. So we work together to make the experience on this particular platform even better. And this involves some tech work and tech stuff. And all of us, what we're trying to do. Even like Google, you mentioned Stadia and all the cool features they had. We love the vision of Google for cloud gaming. And when they shut down Stadia, the next day after that,
we cried a little.
Yeah. And
everyone in the chat you see cried. You go.
Yeah, and I talked to my contacts at Google just the next day, and they told me, we're into cloud gaming, we believe in cloud gaming, it's just that we had to shut Stadia down. But and really shortly after that, they released gaming Chromebooks, the devices specifically made for cloud gaming, because cloud gaming is the only way you can play games on Chromebook. And so they are really counting on cloud gaming. They believe in it, and we see this synergy with pretty much all the companies now, be it like a TV company, Samsung, or companies like Asus, Lenovo, HP, that produce consumer devices, desktop computers, laptops, and so on. So gaming is a very big thing right now. And when I started, and I joined Boosteroid a very long time ago. It's I think over 6 years I'm here, and it was in the very beginning of the company and our journey. And I never expected cloud gaming to be such a big think it is today. And today is not even the beginning. It's the time period before the beginning,
Right.
We'll have much more great things in the near future, in the coming years.
Awesome. So I guess we don't really have a last question. It's just, is there anything else you'd like to say before we let you go, or anything else you wish we had asked you?
Yeah, I just, just wanted to thank you guys, Jack, MM2K, and all the people watching us, commenting, and all the people who will watch us afterwards. And yeah, really thank you guys for being a part of this, for being a part of cloud gaming and Boosteroid. And it's really important. It's been always important, but now as the team is basically based in Ukraine and struggling with this war, and it's very important to see that people need this and people are happy with this, and we have millions of customers all around the world living their normal life and being able to use our product. That's really great. So it's probably just a very broad thank you to everybody out there. Thank you guys.
Right. Yeah, and it's amazing that you're doing this from the Ukraine. This is something that we'd love to cover with you at some point, to talk about the challenges of running a cloud gaming service when your country is being attacked. So very awesome having you on the show. So we also have a giveaway to do. So maybe before we say goodbye to you, if we could have people in the chat.
Well, you know what, Jack, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but I found out a way so you don't have to go through the labor of writing the names down manually. We can use Nightbot. So if everybody wants to put in, let's do this. Let's do exclamation Boosteroid. So if you type in exclamation Boosteroid into the chat, let's see if that'll work. I'm gonna put it just so you guys understand what I'm saying. They put exclamation Boosteroid in here. Put that in the chat. Enable just put it in once, and that hopefully will get you guys. Yep. Oh yeah, we got a crap load of eligible people.
Okay, great. So while people are doing that, we just want to say thanks again, Vlad. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for the gift of the code. That's huge. We see we have a number of people who signed up already, and so our giveaway is we're going to give away for two people $25 Steam gift cards, and we will try to get it in whatever country you're in, and you can use that to buy some games to play on Boosteroid.
Great. Yeah. Thank you guys. That's great.
Thank you. Use my cloud. Hey, I use my CloudDosage 75. I won't even get in trouble with my wife. All right, that's awesome. So that was a fantastic surprise, and we really thank you guys for that. This entire interview was awesome. Great information, great gifts at the end. So there you go, guys. Exclamation Boosteroid. We'll give you guys a few more seconds. And then we'll do the first roll. Does that sound good, Jack?
Sounds good. We'll see who wins.
All right. So, yep, 10, we'll count down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, D. Wilson got in at the last moment. All right, let's roll it. Okay, and the first winner was Antoine RTU. The first winner of the. So how do we want to set up to where? Go ahead.
And Antoine, if you could put some social media handle for yourself, like a Twitter account or an Instagram account or a Facebook account, into the chat so that we can contact you right after this is done. So put your name, basically put some way that we can contact you into the chat. And I say, while he's doing that, why don't we draw the next name?
Draw the next person. All right. So we're waiting for Antron to roll, and then we're going to roll again, and let's go again. And the second winner is Hunter C. So shout out to Hunter C. Hunter C, please. Oh, Hunter C just put congrats in there. So Hunter C, please put some type of social media tag on there. There you go, Hunter. Yeah, put something out there so we can
okay, we got Anton's Instagram. We just need something from Hunter.
Something from Hunter.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, just to begin to close this out now, one thing I learned is that we should be paying attention to Gamescom and what's coming after Gamescom.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. Is there anything else you want to kind of shout out to end the video here, Vlad?
I guess that's it. And again, thank you very much, guys, for all this interview and the opportunity to engage with your audience. And if we're always online, you can contact the support if you need anything, any information from us. And we try to be very open to the customers, to people. And it's regularly, our CEO just communicates with people on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere else. So I do not encourage you to write messages to our CEO right now, but just saying that the CEO often talks to the users and is very into what's happening on the ground with the customers, how their experience is, and so on. So we try to be as close to you guys as possible, and feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well,
could you post the CEO's phone number here in chat?
It's Twitter DM. Yep. So there you have it, guys. I know a lot of you have a lot more questions in the chat. We're sorry we ran out of time. I blabbered so much and went on my tangent, but I just had to thank these guys. But thank you. But a lot of great information was disseminated here. We want to thank Vlad for coming. I also want to thank Jack for being here as well. Definitely, we want to thank you guys for being here. Don't forget 2 big things. Be ready for Gamescom and after. And secondly, CloudDosage 75. You'll get 75% off the Ultra tier for Boosteroid. It's coming stateside soon, so you just jump in there now. I already did. So jump in there now. Get ready for when it comes stateside as well, and for everybody else that gets to enjoy it now. Great, fantastic. You get to enjoy that 75% off now. You got to use this code today. It's only going to be active for the day, right, Vlad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's it. I guess there we have it. Thank you, everybody. This was phenomenal. And yeah, Vlad told you how you can reach out to them. But definitely, if we ever get an opportunity, Vlad or anybody from Boosteroid, definitely come back. It's always great talking to you guys.
Sure, of course.
Thank you, Jack, again for hosting as well. We will, as an update, we know that Gamer Meets Mainstream has been on hiatus, and so is some of our other content. That content is coming back. We're still working on more content, but definitely be ready for Gamer Meets Mainstream because it kind of ties into this a little bit. I didn't want to get Vlad in trouble, but I got a pet peeve with some of these companies that don't support cloud gaming. So you get to hear me get on my soapbox about that. So be ready for that this Wednesday, tomorrow, as a matter of fact. No. I'm sorry. This Thursday, and that is live exclusively for subscribers. So if you're a subscriber like I did today, you'll get to join that live, but it becomes available for the public the following Wednesday. All right. With that said, that's it for today's show. I'm sorry, Jack, did anybody have anything else?
I was just going to say, I was delaying a little bit so Hunter C could get his Twitter account in, but we got it.
Oh, yeah, that is right. Yeah.
So we're good to go.
Okay. We're good to go now? Okay, good. Great. Okay, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Till next time, as always, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Bye. Thanks.
You guys keep in touch. Bye-bye.